Welcome back to Romania. It's been a long slog to get to the next match. It was, 2.5 months transfer window in between, hunting around looking for players to improve the squad. I think we've got a very solid squad. It's big still because I couldn't get rid of anywhere near as many players as I wanted to, but it has decent depth, I think, and we've got a shot at promotion. Obviously these next 3 games are going to be important, especially this one against 6th place Mioven. So I won't waste any more of your time waffling this side of the titles. I'll waste it the other side when I'm talking about the transfers. See you there. Okay, we will deal with the ones out first. I won't linger too much on most of them because, let's face it, you never got to see them, you never got to know them. So what do you care who they are? But Justin Popescu, who was one of the bigger names who wanted to leave, 1.2 million lei we got for him, so he's out. Tudor Oltean, who was a decent fullback. I mean, if you look at him, he's not a bad left back. The problem is he's right footed, and whilst it says he can play centre back, he can't play centre back, not properly. He's got a jumping reach of 5, he's 5'9". So ultimately I didn't really have a use for someone who had to be played as an inverted wing back in the system I wanted to play, which we'll show you later. So we sold him, took some criticism for it, fans didn't really like it, but 850,000. Ionel Mikkel, who honestly I don't even remember what he was. Yeah, basically wide player and not good enough at certain things to convert to Mazzala. So took the money and ran with him, 670,000. Now Pavescu, not one I was planning on getting rid of, but then got the offer in. He was going to get all upset if we didn't take it, and 4 million we got for him. Kosmiuk, I think, was always probably, we were looking at again, another one who plays out wide, couldn't really convert to Mazzala. 600,000 for him. Adrian Stoyan was a fun one because we originally had a bid of 117,000 on the table, and I just kept offering him out for a little bit more every time, and we got a really good bidding war going. Probably could have got more than that, to be honest, if I'd been bothered to keep it going, but having basically tripled my money on him, I called it a day. Ciprian Rauter, another one that I didn't really want to get rid of. He would have been probably a decent forward. Not necessarily a starter, although that was the thing, I think. I mean, he's young, he's got potential, but 1.7 million, couldn't really turn it down. And then Jonas Ilashku, who was a late departure. I would have been happy to keep him. Again, young, reasonable potential, not that far off of being a decent fullback, but with some weaknesses. I mean, we play wing backs in the system we're going to use, and his dribbling is terrible, his off the ball is terrible. So yeah, you Craiova can try and get the best out of him. We'll take the 600,000. All of which means that transfers out this season, we've made 11 million lei. And only 1.2 million of that wasn't me. So, what did we do with that money? Well, we didn't spend any of it on Emil Ries. Danish striker, very good finisher, and as you can see, I've done my usual. We've played very bad teams in our friendlies, and the first 2 weren't overly encouraging, a little narrower than I'd liked, but that was lack of match sharpness, I think. But yeah, he's banged in 14 goals in the 4 friendlies he's played. He's looked fantastic, and yeah, I mean, the wage is quite hefty, but not unaffordable, certainly, by any means. And yeah, he has looked very good, and to pick him up for free. And it did actually say in the roundup for the transfer window as a whole, he was the best signing and you can see why. I mean, we've got a very good player for absolutely nothing. Antonio Vlad has come in. He is one of our centre backs, which is where he will be playing, and you can see why. I mean, he's good in the air, solid mentally, not lightning quick by any means, but decent enough for this level. Leonard Alexandrescu is a fullback, and again, pretty solid, not special technically, reasonable mentally and physically, and basically, yeah, just very capable of doing the job out at left back, and most importantly, actually left-footed. Now, we were weak in the fullback positions and in any sort of depth at the Mazzala positions that I wanted to play, and that's one of the reasons Otelitsa came in. And again, you can see pretty similar to Alexandrescu. Fairly solid, couple of little mental weaknesses, but yeah, other than that, not bad. And he's a backup anyway. At the moment, he is backing up a man who is leaving in the summer. Now, Alexandrescu is our starting left back. Miras Zenis, who we've got on loan from Aktobe of Kazakhstan, and he himself is Kazakhstani. Again, the wing back can't really dribble and a couple of mental weaknesses, but is really rapid, decent cross of the ball. So yeah, mentally a little short, but very good decision maker, and just a solid backup. Kasian Popovic, another centre back, and again, I mean, lacks a little composure and doesn't make great decisions, but generally speaking, not too bad. Physically decent. I mean, don't ask him to like sort of do anything other than defend, because he just can't. And he does seem to be getting worse, having got here. Bit of potential, but we'll see. He's a rotation sort of player at the moment. Now, Mamadou Kamara is one of our non-EU bods, and we are now using him as a central midfielder on attack. He has played a little Mazzala, but he will slot into central midfield on attack now. And as you can see in the friendlies, scored 6, set up 2 in just 3 games, playing fantastically well against these terrible teams that I play. And yeah, not bad. Some decent attributes, a couple of little weaknesses, but we can probably get away with them at this level. Now, this man, known as DJT, his actual name, I think it will be in here, yeah, Diko Yakchong, but I was finding that a little bit of a mouthful, and I was always probably going to end up calling him DJT anyway. And he is going to be one of our Mazzalas. It's not really his preferred position, but it is a position he's good at. And yeah, apart from a little lack of vision, he has got lots of good attributes. And again, you can see 2 goals, 5 assists in the friendlies. He has slotted in nicely, learning the position well. And pretty much a deadline day signing. 1 million we spent on this boy, because I had 1.6 million in the kitty at that point, and we really did need another left-footed Mazzala. And again, you can see not the greatest technicals on some of those bits, but again, physically, mentally, good solid player. And he's only 19. He has got room for improvement, so we might be able to get quite a bit for him. I think, yes, I did put a 10 million RON release clause on him. So yeah, spent just under 2 million, raised over 9. Not bad financial wizardry, and we were over 6 million in debt before that transfer window started. So the fact that we are now slightly under an even keel is not bad going. You can see this has rapidly improved. I mean, we did actually break slightly into a profit for a bit, and then I spent that million on the last fella, whose name I can't quite remember because it's Hungarian and difficult to pronounce, and he's not been here long enough for me to know who he is yet. So, with that said, a game against sixth placed Mioven away, but we win, we go above them. We could slip into that top 6 if things go really well for us. I mean, at the end of this day, we could be in there. We will be in there if we win, because we'll go above them and stay above them on direct result at the end of the 19 games. And Dinamo Bucharest will have to get something in their game. Right, let's go. Now, I said I'd talk you through the tactic. No, right, they're playing 3 at the back. Okay, we need to do that then, and we'll go in. Seem to be going in hard on virtually everyone. But yeah, so this is what we're doing, playing basically sort of like flat back 4, ball winning midfield in front of them, and then the 3 midfielders. The Mazzalas drift out wide, so they will provide a bit of the width, and obviously the wing backs overlapping. The Ngonch, it doesn't fancy Sherban as an Ngonch, but he is decent. He's got the attributes for it pretty much, and he can play it. He's having to play it today because sadly our first choice option, Dennis Bika, is injured for about a month. The one problem I have with Dennis Bika is his personality is listed as temperamental, and that's normally a bit of a problem. They always get upset about something and then you end up having to sell them. And yeah, as you can see, Reece spearheading that, but this bench is full of decent players who can come in and do a job perfectly happily. Again, we've got Christian Pasarica, who is 16 on the bench, and I won't tell you what it means, but his surname in Romanian does actually mean something quite rude. I don't know if it's a little joke from the makers of the game that people have his surname, or whether people genuinely have his surname in Romania. But yeah, you wouldn't want to be called one, put it that way. So, I mean, as you can see, the hat is back, brought back by popular request. So it's back for both saves. Now, okay, the players don't really listen to me. I have not yet earned their trust. They consider themselves better than I am, and certainly better than my reputation. So what we need to do is just say something and have them sit there with blank faces and move on. Right, we won our game before the winter break. Let's see if we can win this one and get ourselves back on track. It would be nice to be able to try and at least compete for promotion rather than just have to bide our time not going down, which I think this squad is much too good to fall into relegation trouble if we end up in the bottom 14. But I have identified one slight problem with this formation from the friendlies that we played. Oh, another layer off the post. And that is that I sort of seem to have effectively split my side into 5 up front, 5 at the back, and that's kind of it. So when someone sort of like attacks us, we don't really get many more than 5 back. Because the Mazzalas are all they're both on attack, the central midfielder is on attack, and they don't really come back that much. So it might be a case of, if we're like protecting a lead or something against good opposition. Oh, need a layer again. That I drop them all to like back onto support so they come back a bit more to help out, because otherwise we are going to be, oh my word, horribly exposed. Oh, dealt with that. Yes, I want to tell you about Under Homer, who said he wanted to leave. When I got here, he was saying he wanted to leave because the club had got relegated last season, so nothing to do with me. Oh, hello, Nedelayer. He's been threatening that since the opening kickoff. And yeah, unfortunately he was out of contract in this coming summer. And we did manage to get a bid of 2.5 million on the table from someone for him. Burgos, I think, in the Spanish second division, seemed to be desperate to get him. And then all of a sudden, as soon as that happened, the vultures swooped in, and we got like 8 bids for him that were just offering him a contract for the start of next season, which of course I couldn't do anything about. He was never going to sign for us again, and to be honest, getting his wages off the books would be quite handy for any sort of rebuilding that we need to do, or additions to the squad that we need for next summer. But of course it did mean that he chose one of them. I think he went to, oddly enough actually, Göztepe, who are an affiliate for my Southampton side. Oh, Nederlayer again! Top boy. A couple of absolute bangers. So we missed out on a potential 2.5 million for him, and obviously getting 400 and something thousand off the wage budget. But we do get the compensation of having a very good right back for the rest of the season. So, I mean, honestly, I'd probably rather have had the money and gone out and bought one for longer than that, but you can't have everything. So, well, it's gone well so far, isn't it? While I've been waffling through all that, we've been playing well and taking a commanding 2-goal lead and dominating the game. Oh, unlucky Reese. Everyone's playing pretty well, including our 16-year-old Sherban. And of course, under Homer, underlining just how much we might miss him by banging in a 7.8 in the first half. But Nederlayer, 2 cracking goals. Ooh, haven't sorted out set pieces. Really probably should do something about that, just in case we've got anyone who's actually half decent in the air. Well, we have dominated that game so far. Pump the fists, things are going well. Ignore. No response from the 11 blank faces in front of me. And off we go. What is his name? Is he me, or did he just seem to be called 6? Oh, good. Right, this is where my little file comes in handy. Now. And I don't seem to have put him on the bench. Well, that's just fantastically stupid of me, isn't it? Why haven't I got him on the bench? I don't know. It should have been the new boy. It's actually going to be Mamadou Kamara, who's a perfectly decent replacement. But it should have been Songor Kashas, who, whilst being a Romanian citizen, is very clearly of Hungarian descent with looking at his name. I'm still looking out for this bloke called 6. I should have left that for your keeper. Oh, there you go. We've had 1 or 2 issues at goalkeeper. Obviously, with the sale of our first choice goalkeeper when I got here. Oh, hello, Reese has tried one. Right, hang on. I just need to have a look. Have they really got... Was he just putting his number above his name? Yeah, there's no one with a name as weird as that out there, is there? I don't know what that was above his head then. Anyway. But we've got several good, promising young goalkeepers at the club. So I wasn't too fussed about him going. And we had a bit of a half-hearted look at a replacement, including... Hey! Kamara comes on, scores. Someone whose name was Gloriei'S, which basically, when you looked at it on the screen, he was always going to be called George Michael if he'd turned up. Sadly, he didn't. I think he wanted a lot more wages than I was prepared to pay. I might even actually dish out a bit of praise. You heard that then? No, I see. Selective hearing gone mad. Oh, Mamadou Kamara staking a claim. Well, I mean, he might, although saying that, Kashash should probably technically gain. Although actually, they're about the same sort of level, so maybe Kamara has staked his claim and just been fortunate that he was the one on the bench and Cash might still end up as the backup, depending on how long Matey is out for. But I honestly have to say I was not expecting this to go this well. Oh, Reese flashes it wide. So, yeah, I mean, 4-0 away to what is supposed to be a decent side and whose odds with the bookies are, or when I last looked, were exactly level with ours. And, yeah, oh, that wasn't the greatest of passes under Homer. You can take them with you when you leave. Oh, go on, Reese. Finish. Oh, he's hacked at that wildly. Well done under Homer. Okay, good work from Reese. Kamara gets it over. Cleared. Yeah, see, this is where we get the slight problem, because you can see people don't really sort of get back, but we've won it back. Sherban, 16-year-old Irvin Sherban, scores his first goal of his career on his debut. Oh, well, you can all say you were here now to see it happen. I mean, probably won't amount to virtually anything, let's be honest. And to be fair, if the goalkeeper had realised he had arms, that probably wouldn't have gone in. But 5-0. Wow. This could hardly really have gone better, could it? I mean, and it's completely different tactics to the ones we were playing in the last game. Although, of course, because I played like 7 friendlies, my boys are now relatively familiar with this tactic and pretty well match sharp. Well, they are fully match sharp, which I don't know as can be said for the opposition. Might consider a few substitutions in a minute. Just rest some legs, get some other players on there, see how they do. Right, now, one thing that needs to be noted, Cyril Zabou is the only member of this 20-man squad who is actually currently in real life at Botosham. I have been sent a picture of him, and yeah, it's just somehow he has clung on in the 6 or so years it's taken us to get here. Now, okay, Nedalea is on a booking, so who would we want there? Okay, let's put DJT on, getting some match sharpness as well. Now, Buziuk is an interesting one because he is... Alright, actually, we'll put Pinto on. We'll shake up that midfield. He's out of contract, I think, at the end of the season. And he is ageing, so I probably do want to replace him. But in the friendlies, he has been absolutely banging in goals. Oh, I don't know why Kamara didn't try and hook that back goalwards, to be honest. First time. But, never mind. Right, I think we will give Buziuk just a bit of a runabout. Rest Reese's legs. And let's dish out a bit more praise. They might like me a bit more if I say well done when they're 5-0 up, mightn't they? I did have a problem after the second friendly. Hey, Buziuk, there he goes. Scores. Which we only won 2-0. And I was just sort of like, well, we won, but, you know, it wasn't really good enough. And then we had the little soft petals that were in that squad came to me and were just sort of like, oh, we don't like the way you spoke to us. So I've kind of made a promise to be all nice and kissy with them now. I mean, I can be after a performance like this. This has been absolutely magnificent. Honestly, probably one of the best performances I've seen one of my teams put in, and certainly this early in my reign. To have got it right this quickly, I'm very, very proud of that result. Right, we'll go and have a look at and see what that's done to the table, and see what's coming up in the fixture list. Okay, I played it on to the following day so that the games for everyone else could be played. And as you can see, we have stayed up there in 5th place. Dinamo Bucharest could only draw, so they're behind us. Gloria Popesht Leoden lost to Petrol Ploiești. So, I mean, they look like they're going up, basically. So yeah, we are currently top 6. And our last 2 games are against 14th and 20th. And given how well we've just played against a team that was 6th, we really don't have any excuse, do we, for missing out on this top 6 group. And then automatic might be a bit beyond us, because there is a little bit of a gap there, and obviously we're going to have to play the better teams in the division. But I reckon we could finish 3rd or 4th. If we can just do the business in these last 2 games, then I don't see why a playoff is beyond us. So what we will do is, yeah, we will come back and we'll show you these 2 games and see if we do get into that top 6, or if we make me tear my hair out and make a complete mess of them. But yeah, 2 league games played, 2 wins, 8 goals, 2 very different systems. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me here. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. La revedere.